Hello everyone. I hope I'm visible as well as audible. A very good afternoon to all of you. I hope you guys are doing well and I hope you are ready for today's Hindu editorial analysis. Just give me a quick confirmation in the chat box whether I'm perfectly audible and visible, and then we can, get ahead with our agenda for the day, which is pretty simple. We'll be discussing high frequency words. We'll be discussing, if at all we come across any idioms, and we'll also be talking about one of the articles from the editorial. Good afternoon, Avi. Hi, Rohit. Hello, Vedansh. Avi, it's still same old. Hi, Shripad. Hi, Drishti. Good afternoon, Kushi. Good afternoon, Drishti. And yeah, let's start with the session. And you already know the drift, right? So just a second. As you can see, the first word of the day, I think probably you might have discussed this word with Shazli ma'am at some point. I'm not really sure. But this is one word which finds, very frequent entrances in the editorials. So that's the reason I kind of put it back into the list. So the first word for the day is tenability. And when I talk about tenability, I basically am talking about the reasonability of a person or a reasonability of situations. Okay, for example, you already know who's speaking the truth and who's speaking a lie, right? Now, as a judge, you're supposed to make a decision which is fair, right? And that kind of tests your tenability. That means whether you are reasonable or not, whether you know how to weigh the options or not. So here, the first word is the quality of being plausible or acceptable to a reasonable person. If I make an argument, it should be tenable. What does that mean? It should be reasonable. The other person should be able to accept or embrace it. Okay? Yes, Rohit. I think probably you might not have attended yesterday's class. That's the reason you're seeing me after quite some time. So, coming back to this, anything which is a reasonable argument will be considered tenable, and you can test an argument's tenability or a person's tenability by the way they behave, or possibly by the way they, conduct themselves. So, coming to the sentence, the usage of this is the theory is no longer considered tenable. That means the theory provides arguments which no longer seem fit. Okay, they cannot be accepted anymore. So that is basically tenable. Let's use another one. The tenability of our friendship falls on both of us, right? It's not a one-way street. So obviously, both the friends have to do their part, and the reasonability of our friendship and the amount of आप बोल सकते हो, the quality of it being plausible depends on both the friends. So moving to the next word, travesty. Again, this is one word which very commonly is seen in the editorials. So the word is, I think you should start using this word more often because, as you can see, the meaning is a false, absurd, or distorted representation of something. And I think we have all been, victims of travesty at some point, right? Somebody has betrayed us, or somebody has presented information in a wrong way, or somebody has, tried to mislead us. So that is basically travesty. And Drishti has given us another great example. He questioned the tenability of my claims. Exactly. He questioned the reasonability of my claims, whether I am talking about something which has a logical backing, okay, or am I just claiming something just because I feel like it. So the second one is travesty. Travesty का मतलब होता है कोई भी चीज को आप misrepresent कर रहे हो या आप उसको false तरीके से सामने ला रहे हो. That is basically travesty. Let's see an example here. Their marriage was a complete travesty. So can anybody tell me whether it's a good thing or a bad thing? If somebody's marriage is complete travesty, that basically means They're trying to pretend that they are happy, but probably they are not. It's a complete lie. It's a total sham, right? That's travesty. I was taken aback by the travesty of my colleague. Yes, obviously, this is a very bad thing. If somebody's marriage is based on travesty, that means it's not really working out anymore. Exactly. The sentence by the court was tenable for the victims. Very good example, Vedansh. The next one, propensity. And this is that one word which I think can make an entrance in your day-to-day language. How? Because propensity का मतलब होता है having an inclination or a tendency towards something. For example, people have the propensity to lie. Have you ever met a person who lies very often? So that means they have the tendency to lie. Similarly, I have a propensity to sleep late. Okay, I generally sleep late, so I have an inclination. I really like to sleep late because probably I am a night owl. Okay, the news of India's $4 trillion GDP. Okay, Rohit, is there anything written after dollars? The news of India's $4 trillion GDP was a travesty. Obviously, we're talking about $4 trillion. That's basically a whooping amount, right? So the usage is he tells lies for no reason, wears bizarre hats, and has a real propensity to upset the people around him. Some people are just generally annoying, and this person is definitely an example of this. What is the meaning of the word bizarre? Yes, Drishti, I think some people really work better at night, just like you and I, right? The governors were questioned, their tenability of their power mentioned in the constitution. Very good. Prince Geoffrey's claim to the throne was a complete travesty. Very good, Sanidhya. Okay, so propensity का मतलब होता है liking, inclination, and because generally we use the words like and love very often, so why not use the word propensity instead? It's a high frequency word, right? It's only going to make your vocabulary more profound. So let's start using it. Okay, I have a propensity to judge people by the way they conduct themselves. Okay. She inherited from her father a propensity to talk too much. Yes. Some people are really verbose. Verbose ka matlab hota hai they talk a lot or loquacious, right? Rohit, that's actually a really good habit. Not a problem, Vaishnavi. We have only discussed like three words. Okay. So moving forward to the next one. And I don't know how many of you have already heard this word before. Gubernatorial. Gubernatorial, you can kind of remember it from governor because this has to do with the governor. Something that relates to a governor or particularly that of a state in the US. Okay, so whenever we generally use the word gubernatorial, it has to be somehow linked to the United States of America. Okay, and it has to be related to the governor of that particular place. Okay, so usages Iowa has never elected a woman in a congressional or gubernatorial election. That means whenever they have had elections to pick their governors, Iowa has never really elected a woman there. Okay, let's use another example. The gubernatorial elections turned out to be a travesty as they were already rigged. Yesterday we used and we learnt a new word rigged, right? Oh, sorry. So as you can see, we have used three words here. The gubernatorial elections, that means the elections to pick their governors, it turned out to be a travesty, it turned out to be a false claim or a lie, as they were already rigged because somebody has already manipulated the elections. So we already knew who's going to be the next governor. Okay, I have a propensity to regret my mistakes that I made in the past. I think, Rohit, that's all of us, right? So, yes, moving forward to the next one, thicket. And this word is generally related to a thick growth of bushes. Okay, so generally when you go in a garden or go in a park or go in a jungle safari, okay, so there you find thickets. Thickets is generally a dense growth of something, but in the context of the editorial today, it's not been used as a thick growth of bushes. That's the reason I kind of limited the meaning to only dense growth. ठीक है, so हम उसको generally भी use कर सकते हैं, जैसे कि if I want to show that there has been an abundant growth in some area, we can use the word thicket. Okay, so usage is a horned owl perfectly camouflaged in a dense thicket. That means obviously it's not easy to see a horned owl when there is a dense growth of bushes, right? Another one, she was trapped in the thicket of his lies. So I have used it in a different context here, as you must have noticed. In a thicket of his lies, that means he has basically, sown a lot of lies over the course of time, and she kind of got trapped into it. Okay. So any of the words that you haven't understood, please let me know. I'll just try to re-explain. Okay? The thicket and botching growth in the backyard is a complete quagmire to clean. Lovely. So Vaishnavi has used three high frequency words. The first one is thicket. We have just learned it. Botching. Botching means to destroy something or do it carelessly. And the third one is quagmire. Quagmire is a difficult situation. Very good, Vaishnavi. Lovely. Then moving to the next one. Iconoclast. Okay, iconoclast is that one word which the Hindu editorials use very often, and an iconoclast is a person who generally destroys, images of religious worship. जैसे कि आपने देखा होगा किसी को statues या idols destroy करते हुए, and these are also people who kind of destroy the conventional beliefs. They are against religion, they are against tradition. So, have you ever met a person who is an iconoclast? A very famous iconoclast is Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche. He's a philosopher. So, I don't know how many of you have heard his name. Again, another example of an iconoclast is Aurangzeb, Ibrahim Lodi. These were people who used to destroy religious images, statues, idols because they did not really believe in a particular religion. Okay. Um, Actually, in order to, purchase our online batch, what you will need to do is you will have to, visit the Legal Edge or Top Rankers website. There you will have a number. You will have to enroll yourself there and you will have to talk to somebody through that portal. Okay. So go to TR portal, go to Top Rankers, and there you'll find a contact number and you can, get yourself enrolled. Good afternoon, Laksh. How are you? So, yeah, an iconoclast is a person who is against tradition, religion, etc. And obviously, do not confuse it with an atheist. An atheist is not a destroyer of images. An atheist is a person who is a non-believer. So, these two are different words. Okay? Exactly. It's a blasphemy what these iconoclasts actually perform. Very good example, Vedansh. Okay, her propensity mistakenly made a travesty which led to thicket of critics. Wow, Rohit. Three high frequency words used perfectly. I think I know why my father became a soldier, a professional fighter, and an iconoclast. I think the T is missing here. You know what happens generally when soldiers go on wars? They see, such gory things and they see so much bloodshed that actually they stop believing in any god. So, yeah, this example kind of makes sense, right? Because this person is a soldier and they have lost all their beliefs. Okay? And that's the reason they have turned into an iconoclast. The fabricated evidences turned out to be futile for the iconoclast. Very good example. Aurangzeb's iconoclastic propensity made him a horrifying leader, right? Moving to the next one, implications, and you will see this word very often in the mocks. This particular word is generally used to ask questions. What were the implications that the writer portrayed in the passage? तुम लोगों ने बहुत बार सुना होगा ये word. This is a noun, by the way, and it actually talks about a suggestion or an inference. Inference का मतलब क्या होता है? Something which is inexplicitly mentioned, indirectly mentioned, right? Some people show a great sign of iconoclastic behavior, drishti, which sometimes end up in a riot. Exactly. So, a suggestion or an inference is also known as an implication. And let's see the usage. The lecturer made the implication or made an inference or a suggestion that science was subjective. Okay, so that means whoever has listened to this lecturer's speech, they must have got the hint that she's trying to make science look subjective. That means science is not really for everybody, or it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's a very subjective thing, right? The implications made in the court were rejected by the jury. Which one? Avi? Are you talking about implications? No, implications is not really a tone. Okay? It's just a vocabulary word. All right? So moving to the next one, the word is pronounced as sisb. How many of you have seen this word before? Not a very common word. And the meaning of this word is a division or a split between strongly opposed sections. For example, the left wing and the right wing. For example, two different religions. So we can talk about this separation or a divide between two strongly opposed sections or parties caused by difference in opinions. So yesterday also we learned a word which shows separation. Does anybody remember? What was that word? I'll give you some time. Think about it. Yes. So हम जब भी एक division या separation की बात करते हैं between two very strongly opposed sections of the society, that's a cis. And let's see the usage. The schism between my two best friends put me in the awkward position of having to choose one over the other. ऐसा कितनी बार हुआ है कि in a trio of besties, दो best friends ने लड़ाई कर ली है and then one of them has to pick sides. And yesterday we learnt the word fishers. Very good, Avi. And very good, Vaishnavi. You remember the word. Fissures also means split or division between two strongly opposed sections. Very good. Though, so you can use it like this. The schism between my two best friends may put me in a very awkward situation, awkward position, because I have to choose one over the other. The schism between My favorite band left me heartbroken. So generally, this is a very common occurrence in the West that people as a band get a lot of recognition and popularity, and then eventually they split up, right? Because of obviously difference of opinions. So you can use it like that as well. The schism between my favorite band left me heartbroken, right? The next one is augur. And augur ka matlab hota hai something which is an indication of something. Now, augur can be an indication of something bad or something good, depending upon the context. Okay, so you can understand it as this word as well. Bode something. That means it did not bode well for them. That means it's not really a good prediction, or we are basically talking about future here. So you can understand it as a sign of something. For example, a black cat passing in front of you is said to augur bad luck. How many of you have heard of this superstition? I'm like really flattered to hear that, Rohit, but no, it actually is divided between the two of us, and that's the way it's going to be. But thank you so much. And yeah, coming back to this. तुम लोगों ने मेरे ख्याल से सभी ने ये सुपरस्टिशन सुना ही होगा कि जब भी एक काली बिल्ली आपका रास्ता काटती है तो यू शुड नॉट रियली गो फ्रॉम द सेम पाथ यू शुड एक्चुअली आइदर टर्न बैक or take a few steps back into your home and then again after some time you can leave or maybe when somebody sneezes right when you're trying to leave your house then again you will have to wait for a few minutes and then only you are allowed to leave. So these are some famous superstitions and these are basically indications of something bad that's about to happen. तो हम देख सकते हैं a black cat passing in front of you is said to augur bad luck. Let me give you another example. Cutting your nails on a Thursday augurs bad omen as per my mother, right? The implications made by the Caucasus showed a palpable okay. So Vaishnavi, a palpable of consilience, we can't really use it like that. Palpable can be used with a noun. Okay, so use a noun right next to it. Everyone is free to give schism in building India to reach its goals towards being a Viksit Bharat. Okay, schism in building is basically a division in building, right? Okay, moving forward, please use augur as well in your sentences. So, moving on to the article of the day. And yesterday also we did talk about this. We talked about Imran Khan in general. We did not really take up this editorial, right? So today we can see here Pakistan in turmoil. What's the meaning of the word turmoil? Okay. The movie Conjuring shows a lot of beliefs that augur bad omen or bad spirits, right? And these are very common in Western nations. John's recovery from surgery augurs well for the team. Lovely example, Ragini. Very good. So I told you already that augur can be used in a positive or a negative way depending upon the context. So Ragini's example is basically a positive connotation to the word augur, whereas if you see Drishti's example or I think Vaishnavi's example probably. No, Vaishnavi has not really used augur yet. But Drishti's example is a negative connotation of the word augur. ठीक है? Uh, are you guys able to hear me clearly or is there any disturbance? Palpable का मतलब होता है something which can be felt, Laksh. Okay? For example, feelings. You go through a lot of feelings throughout the day. Sometimes you feel happy, sometimes you feel angry, sometimes you feel agitated, right? Those are all palpable feelings. But can you touch it? No, right? So, as you can see, this article, Pakistan in turmoil, that means is it a good thing or a bad thing? Being in a state of turmoil, it basically means unrest. It basically means a lot of trouble. Oh, very good example. Today's clouds augur a rainy day. The implications made by the Caucasus augurs consilience in the party. Very good now, Vaishnavi. This was a better example. So, as you can see, if Pakistan is in turmoil, that means it's in a bad shape, it's in a bad state. And we are basically talking about the Pakistan elections and the results. And as you can see, the subheading instability will follow any attempt to subvert the mandate for Imran Khan. What's the meaning of subverting something? Any idea about this word? Have you heard this word before? Basically, just a second. When you're trying to subvert the mandate, that means you're trying to undermine somebody's authority, or you're basically trying to destroy what's already established and what people have known from a long period of time. Okay, that's subverting something. I hope it's clear. Yes, very good. Extreme gaming, what's your name, by the way? To destroy or to damage. Exactly. Your answer is absolutely correct. And Sanidhya has used a wonderful example here. The social schism in the Roman Senate was an augur for a further turmoil. Very good, Sanidhya. I think you have used lots and lots of high frequency words there. Increasing marks in mocks is an indication or is a augur of right strategy and smart work. Very good. Hi, Abhinav. Okay, so coming back to this passage and what is it trying to convey? Can anybody tell me what's the meaning of level playing field? By the way, this is an idiom. Suppose you are getting a level playing field in the upcoming, badminton match or a football match. What does that mean? Is it a good thing for you? Level playing field का मतलब क्या होता है? इसका मतलब ये होता है क्या? That the field is going to be in a proper level, or is it something else? It basically means when you actually get a fair chance of winning. That means both the parties involved will be fairly judged on their capabilities, having an equal chance. Exactly. So that means it's a great thing, right? But here in this sentence, it has not been used in a positive sense. Please see. Pakistan's elections on February 8 were not held on a level playing field. What does that mean? इसका मतलब है जो इलेक्शंस हुए थे वहां पे लोगों को इक्वल चांस नहीं मिला, फेयर चांस नहीं मिला जीतने के लिए. ठीक है. Then we also talk about the former Prime Minister Imran Khan. And arguably, he's the most famous politician, but right now he is in jail and he has been in jail since 2023. ठीक है. Obviously, he has been charged with multiple cases and he is serving convictions. Obviously, if you are accused of something and you are in jail, that means you need to serve your tenure, right? तो हम देख सकते हैं कि उनकी पार्टी का नाम है पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ, also known as PTI, and it has basically been barred, and its symbol also has been barred to be used on the ballot paper. What does that mean? इसका मतलब है, are they allowed for the upcoming elections? Are they allowed to participate? Obviously not. The PTI is basically not been given the green flag to actually participate in the upcoming elections, forcing it to field independent candidates. That means it's not going to identify as a strong party, it's basically going to send out their individual candidates for the elections. ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब है कि अब उनको एक एक करके भेजना पड़ेगा, नॉट एज अ होल. Many of its leaders were also in jail. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि it's not just Imran Khan but other leaders who are part of PTI, they were also in jail or on the run. That means they are either trying to run from the police or basically they are just serving their tenure, while others were forced to quit politics. कुछ लोगों को तो भैया forcefully ही quit करवा दिया politics, and some people basically joined other political parties. That's what is known as defection to another party. I hope you guys know that. So it's a political term. It's not really defection यानी कि हम बोलते हैं as a flaw or an error, but defection in a political party basically means when you join other political party. ठीक है? Now, as you can clearly see, what Pakistan saw in the run up to the elections, obviously, there were other political parties who were involved and they also wanted to participate. And this kind of looks like a systematic effort to dismantle Mr. Khan's political vehicle. What does that mean? ऐसा लगता है कि बहुत ही strategically plan किया गया था कि मिस्टर खान की political party PTI को बहुत अच्छे से piece by piece dismantle कर दिया जाए, और वही हुआ भी, as you can very well see. फिर हम बात करते हैं another party, and that's Pakistan Muslim League N, PMLN, and उनका leader है नवाज शरीफ. Once the nemesis. What's the meaning of the word nemesis? Joker is the nemesis of Batman. Now can you understand? क्या होता है इसका meaning? An arch rival or an enemy. ठीक है, तो नवाज शरीफ जो है, जो दूसरी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के लीडर है, वो उनके बहुत ही, आप देख सकते हैं, ही वॉज एन आर्च राइवल ऑफ इमरान खान, एंड ही ऑल्सो रिटर्न फ्रॉम एग्जाइल इन लंदन. बेसिकली उनको निकाल दिया गया था पाकिस्तान से और वो लंदन में रह रहे थे, एंड he has also returned probably for the upcoming elections, and he also led his party's campaign with the establishment's blessings. Establishment's blessings का मतलब है कि whoever is in control or authority, उनके हिसाब से PMLN is qualified to participate in the upcoming elections, but PTI is not. I hope you have understood. ठीक है, counterpart is actually not really a negative meaning, but Pravitra rival is more likely to be the correct answer. ठीक है? So coming back to this, but if the generals thought these measures would destroy the PTI's political leverage, देखो कोई कितना भी सोच ले और कोई कितनी भी कोशिश कर ले, but जो एक popular party होती है, और if people are supporting you, then there is nobody who can actually dismantle you. That's what we can see here, that no matter what type of, strategies these establishment has planned, कितना भी उनके पास पॉलिटिकल लेवरेज हो या कितना भी वो कैटापुल्ट करने की कोशिश करे. आई थिंक वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस द वर्ड कैटापुल्ट इन वन ऑफ आवर, आई थिंक वन ऑफ आवर प्रीवियस सेशंस. सो डज एनीबॉडी रिमेंबर द मीनिंग? हम बोल सकते हैं द फोर्सफुल टग ऑफ वॉर दैट्स ऑन गोइंग. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि नो मैटर हाउ मेनी स्ट्रैटेजीज और हाउ मेनी स्कीम्स दे आर ट्राइंग टू प्लान अगेंस्ट पीटीआई, बट पीटीआई has a very undivided popularity among the public. And you can clearly see here the PMLN secured 75 seats while the Pakistan's People Party 154. तो जितनी भी political parties थी, कोई भी majority से नहीं जीता है. इनको 75 seats मिली, इनको 54. There's this another party Karachi based Mutahida, I think Kaubi movement Pakistan, it took 17. तो हम देख सकते हैं to form a government you need 134 seats and none of the parties has got that. ठीक है, और यहीं पे अगर पीटीआई होती तो सिंगल हैंडेडली जीत जाती. ठीक है, This does not mean that the PTI, whose independent candidates form the largest bloc, हाँ obviously, क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो individually candidates were participating, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि they have individually won the elections, obviously not. But the next government is going to be a coalition government. What does that mean? Coalition government का मतलब क्या होता है? जब कोई भी पार्टी को मेजोरिटी नहीं मिलती है तो सारी पार्टीज मिलके 1+1+1 करके एक पार्टी बना देती है, ठीक है? Very good. Ragini, Vaishnavi, you guys remember the meaning of catapulting? So, throwing to throw somebody or something suddenly and with a great amount of force. Exactly. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि when it was evident that no bloc had an absolute majority, किसी को भी नहीं मिली majority, तो नवाज शरीफ जो है उन्होंने बोला, he called on to every party and he again, barring the PTI, he's not really in favor of PTI, he said, form a unity government. यानी कि सब मिलके एक पार्टी बना दो, ठीक है? कोलैबोरेशन ऑफ पार्टीज, एग्जैक्टली अभिनव. सो मूविंग फॉरवर्ड हम देखते हैं कि विद आर्मी चीफ जनरल इवन आसिम मुनीर is in favor of Mr. Sharif's call. That means he has a strong backing from the army chief himself. And what followed was an in principle agreement between the PMLN, obviously जितनी भी political parties थी जिन्होंने participate किया था, उन्होंने बोला कि हाँ ठीक है, we are going to collaborate and we are going to work together for political stability. That means they have eventually decided to form a coalition government. And all of these developments point to political maneuvering. Again, maneuvering is that one word which we have already discussed, so I did not really write its meaning here. What's the meaning of maneuvering? It basically means a skillful movement, or in political terms, plotting, scheming, ठीक है, in a very strategic way. तो जितना भी ये पॉलिटिकल मैनूवरिंग चल रहा है, इट्स एक्चुअली एम्ड एट स्टिचिंग टुगेदर अ यूनिटी गवर्नमेंट. वही कोलिशन पार्टीज करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. एंड ये जो इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिविजुअल्स थे फ्रॉम द पीटीआई, दे आर ऑल्सो बीइंग पुट अंडर अ लॉट ऑफ प्रेशर टू स्विच टू कोलिशन पार्टीज. वो बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं, तुम भी कोलिशन पार्टी का ही पार्ट बन जाओ, लीव पीटीआई बिहाइंड. The PTI, which has already alleged electoral irregularities, has called for street protest. देखो पीटीआई को बहुत ही सॉलिड बैकिंग है फ्रॉम द पब्लिक, तो इन लोगों ने क्या किया, they have called for street protest. Whoever is in support of PTI, they will be protesting on the streets. And this is a a very triggering memory of the widespread clashes in May 2023. May 2023 में ये street protest already हो चुके हैं after Mr. Khan's arrest. ठीक है? Now, obviously, the military might have, wanted to turn the page of Mr. Khan's challenge and create a new political reality. बहुत कोशिश तो कर रहे हैं military वहाँ की पाकिस्तान की कि है ना इस बार Mr. Khan's party does not really get the leverage, should not really end up winning. But as you can see, the people are not really happy. And as long as the people are not really happy in a democracy, do you really think any party can actually exist? So it's a very simple question. ठीक है? So as you can see, ये लोग बहुत ज्यादा कोशिश कर रहे हैं to create a new political wave, but the results have underscored or highlighted the popularity and public anger towards the establishment. That means people are still in favor of Imran Khan. So for a long-term solution, the generals should make peace with Mr. Khan. आपको कुछ भी करके Mr. Khan को back into power लाना ही पड़ेगा, because obviously in a democracy you can't really go against the public. And here, if you keep on continuing whatever you are doing, it will result in public discontent and distrust. And if the people only do not trust their establishment, eventually there will be lots and lots of protest, probably riots and conflicts, and which will again bring another cycle of instability and chaos. Chaos means disorder in Pakistan, which again, projects a very negative image for Pakistan in the world politics. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि आपको कुछ भी करके इमरान खान को तो लाना ही पड़ेगा, right? So coming to the main idea of the passage, I would want you guys to sum up whatever we have talked about this passage in 2 to 3 lines. Let's see whether you have understood it or not. Let me give you a few pointers. As you can see, the passage underscores or highlights the recent elections in Pakistan and also the lack of a level playing field. That means unequal opportunities, unfair chances, यही देखने को मिलता है, ठीक है? And why is it happening? Due to the imprisonment of former Prime Minister Imran Khan. And obviously, the establishment, which is the military, is trying to dismantle his political party. And what's the name of the political party? PTI. ठीक है? The establishment or the military trying to dismantle PTI. ठीक है? And despite all of these challenges, do you really think that PTI is, losing their ground or popularity in any way? बहुत कोशिश तो चल रही है उन लोगों को डिसमेंटल करने की, but no, it's not really working out, right? So, as you can see, Vaishnavi has already written the summary or the main idea here. Albeit Mr. Khan is in jail and military doesn't want to make him the prime minister, they may have to do so according to the recent election results. Exactly. None of the political parties that have participated, they have won by majority, and so they are kind of forced to make a collaborative or coalition government. Exactly, Sanidhya. The political instability in Pakistan is acting as an iconoclast for the divine idols of democracy. I think you have used an example, iconoclast, right? Great. The internal conflict going in Pakistan resulting in instability in political structure. Also talking about parties in elections and concerns over future of Pakistan. Absolutely right, Vedansh. How army is controlling everything, but PTI is in great favor from public as no party gets the required number of majority to form the government, which can also result in collaboration. Well done, you guys. Exactly. And tone. Tone is two things. The first one is critical. The writer is being critical when it comes to the establishment's decisions, and also apprehensive. Apprehensive means what? Worrying or concerned about the future, right? So these are the tones which were primarily seen in this particular passage. And moving on to the quiz of the day. And I don't know how many of you have already read these articles before. So, have you? The real travesty on the governor of Tamil Nadu and the governor's address. अगर किसी ने भी आर्टिकल पढ़ा है तो let me tell you one thing, this is a critical discourse, ठीक है? When it comes to the gubernatorial elections in Tamil Nadu, तो ये पूरी तरीके से ही बहुत ही critical piece of writing है. So can you guys guess what could be the answer? Let's see. And if you do not know the meanings of these words, belligerent. Belligerent means somebody who is always inclined to fight. An inclination towards fighting. So does critical actually mean fighting? So very good, Vaishnavi. The correct answer is disapproving. Disapproving का मतलब ही होता है criticize करना किसी चीज को, being critical. A satire, I have already told you yesterday, a satire is a piece of writing which is a humorous take on people who are in authority, who are on important positions, but they are not doing their jobs well, they are corrupt. So the writer is obviously incensed, he's angry, but anger तो हम इतने openly show नहीं कर सकते. So, via humor, he's trying to express his emotions. The answer is disapproving, by the way. Condescending is another tone that we discussed yesterday. So, I just want to, have a quick brush up here. Do you guys remember the meaning of condescending? Please let me know in the chat box. So, Drishti, Sanidhya, Abhinav, Sitakshi, you have all answered it correctly. Rohit, I haven't got your answer, by the way. Can you please send me the main idea again? I cannot see your comment. So, condescending is when somebody thinks of themselves as superior. They behave in a very arrogant manner. They behave as if they are better than all of the people in the room. So, that is condescending. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. To think of oneself as superior and others as inferior. A superiority complex. Very good. So, as you can see, the correct answer is disapproving. Patronizing. Another word for condescending is patronizing. Very good. The next one is Gandhi's Ram is not in the Ram Mandir. Now, this was this huge article that came today. पता नहीं कितने लोगों ने पढ़ा है यहाँ पे. The main idea is basically talking about, Mahatma Gandhi's relationship with Lord Rama, and it's basically, emphasizing on Gandhi's spiritual interpretation and the universal general approach towards religion. ठीक है? Also, ये इस पैसेज में ये भी बात होती है कि how Gandhi ji has incorporated the ideals of Rama into his political as well as social philosophy. So Gandhi ji was also a big follower of Ram, and he also promoted this inclusive spirituality and moral governance. वो यही बोलते थे कि spirituality should be all inclusive. It should include everybody. Doesn't matter from which sector you come, right? So that was the idea behind this particular passage. So can anybody tell me what could be the tone in this particular passage? Hi, Ashish. Dekho, let me tell you one thing. It was definitely not suspense because I've already given you the main idea. So let's eliminate suspense. The answer is contemplative. Yes, Avi, you were correct. Answer is contemplative because the writer is thinking to himself. When you read the name of the title itself, तुम लोगों को देख के नहीं लगा कि the writer is thinking or evaluating something himself? And most of you do not know the meaning of vitriolic, I think. Vitriolic का मतलब होता है, yesterday we learned acerbic. Do you remember what is acerbic? Acerbic means using harsh language. That is hurtful. So obviously, from the title itself, it's very evident that it's not vitriolic. It's not acerbic. It's contemplative. Exactly. हम बोल सकते हैं इसे acidic, तीखा, harsh. बिल्कुल सही. Okay, so the answer is contemplative. And the last one, a global alliance to bridge the gender equity gap. If I talk about lighthearted, lighthearted is a piece of writing that has humor, that has a lot of joy in it. But from the topic itself, हम समझ सकते हैं कि it's not really a light-hearted read, isn't it? So this is something which is eliminated right away. If you haven't already read this particular piece of writing, तो यहाँ पे बात होती है, the passage actually discusses, India's commitment to gender equality as well as equity. And it also highlights achievements. It also highlights the initiatives that has been taken by the Indian government and how we have, tried to advance women empowerment. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि both domestically and globally we have tried to, solidify our position when it comes to women empowerment. And it also talks about the significance of, this alliance for global good and gender equality. तो हम बात कर रहे हैं basically कि India has been very successful and India has achieved a lot of milestones in the last few years when it comes to gender equality, when it comes to women empowerment. तो आप देख सकते हो कि ये बहुत ही एक hopeful, optimistic approach सामने आता है यहाँ पे. So obviously it's not critical. And yes, Ashish, you're correct. Vedant, you're correct. The answer is sanguine. Very good. Sanguine means optimistic, positive, hopeful. And yes, that's it from my side. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And I hope you have learned something new today. And or kuch, anything that you would like to convey, Ashish? Ha, Rohit, we still cannot see your main idea. I don't know what's the problem here. So optimistic or hopeful is the answer. नहीं नहीं दिखा. Can anybody else see Rohit's idea, main idea, about the editorial analysis? Avi, thank you very much. Apprehensive का मतलब होता है when you worry or concerned. Okay? Thank you so much, Ragini. I hope the meaning of apprehensive is clear. मेरे ख्याल से मेरे मेरे साथ साथ कोई और भी नहीं देख पा रहा है रोहित. मैंने आई थिंक आई हैव स्क्रोल्ड ऑलमोस्ट एवरीथिंग. इट्स स्टिल नॉट विजिबल. कोई बात नहीं. Rohit, we can discuss about it later on also. So thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. Have a great day. See you.